The United States Capitol, a building located in Washington, D.C. and that stands at the heart of American democracy. The place where the US government meet to represent its people and pass laws to benefit those across the land, such as the incredibly important Code of Federal Regulations, Title 21, Section 155, Part 194, Catsup, which protects your right to not be sold watery ketchup. There is more to this building than most people realise, however, and dotted across its grounds are a number of secrets that we are going to explore. What's up everybody, and welcome back to Foelum. If you end up enjoying this video, please consider subscribing with the notification bell turned on. It's free and you can always change your mind later. Enjoy the video. In 1792, Thomas Jefferson proposed a competition for designers to design the US Capitol building, the prize for which would be $500. A man by the name of Dr. William Thornton won this competition, who saw his vision come to life. The Capitol building was completed in the year 1800 before being partially destroyed in the burning of Washington in the year 1814. Over the years, the building has had multiple extensions and renovations, one of the largest of which came in 1850 when two new wings were added, a new chamber for the House of Representatives on the south side and a new chamber for the Senate on the north. Formally, the building's east and west sections are referred to as fronts. The building isn't considered to have a rear, and thus after running the maths, the building is not thicker than a bowl of oatmeal. On top of the building sits the Capitol Dome, the exterior for which was completed in 1863. What you see today is actually the second dome. The original dome was replaced after building extensions caused the original dome to become out of place in comparison to the rest of the building. Some started to consider it to be unpleasing to the eye, and so a new, bigger dome was built in its place. Although the dome looks like it is constructed out of the same stone as the rest of the building, it is actually painted cast iron and comes in at a weight of over 4 million kilograms, or in freedom units, over 8.9 million pounds. At the very top of the Capitol Dome sits what's known as the Statue of Freedom, a large bronze statue which itself wears a military helmet styled with stars and an eagle. The Statue of Freedom also holds a laurel wreath along with a sword and shield in its hands. Who knew the sculptor was such a big Pokemon fan? The flags flown over the US Capitol are typically flown in honour or memory of a person or special occasion. As part of the US flag program, in exchange for a small fee of course, any US citizen can write to their member of Congress and purchase a flag, which would then be flown over the US Capitol building for a brief period of time before being boxed along with a certificate of authenticity and sent to the buyer. So if you're ever feeling extra patriotic or just want some bragging rights to get one over on your neighbour at the 4th of July barbecue, then this program is for you. Looking on the inside of the Capitol building, we see that it is lined with stone. Marble has slowly replaced sandstone as the most popular stone in the building. One of these stones, however, has caused an interesting situation. The granite used throughout the US Capitol is so radioactive that the building would fail federal safety codes regulating nuclear power plants. Naturally occurring radioactive elements like uranium are found in granite, and because of this, one spot in the US Capitol was tested at 65 times the level of radiation allowed at a nuclear power plant, meaning that were the Capitol building a nuclear power plant, it would fail its inspection. Spread across every floor in the Capitol are a number of offices that are known as hideaways. The offices are assigned out to members of the Senate based on seniority, with the lowest ranking senators being assigned the small, dark basement offices. The most senior ranking senators get large offices with, wait for it, windows. There are over 100 of these offices where senators are free to relax, enjoy some private time, work, and of course, hide from riots. If you visited the Capitol, you would see a number of statues in the National Statuary Hall, as well as dotted throughout the building. There are a total of 101 of these statues. 49 states have contributed 2 statues each, with Virginia only having 1. The District of Columbia also has a statue, along with a special statue commissioned by Congress. 35 statues are displayed in the National Statuary Hall, while the others have been placed in other parts of the Capitol building, including the Crypt, the Hall of Columns, and the Capitol Visitor Center. These statues are of persons notable in their states, such as Thomas Edison, who is commissioned by Ohio. The District of Columbia have commissioned a statue of Frederick Douglass, and a single statue in the National Statuary Hall that is not associated with any state is the one commissioned by Congress, a statue of Rosa Parks. Scattered throughout the building are a number of special doors. The reason these doors are so special is that they are too small for a person to fit through. In fact, they are only small enough for elves to fit through. So what are these doors used for, and what lays behind them? Well, back on Christmas Eve 1851, a fire had spread through the building, destroying a large amount of literature in the library. During an investigation into the fire, it was determined that had water had been on hand and easily accessible, that the fire could have been easily extinguished. Since then, built behind these tiny doors are water faucets, which could be used in the event of another fire or to clean the building's floors. Or maybe they really are for elves and gnomes. The snakes, of course, use the front door. In the basement of the US Capitol building, apart from the wardrobe where the lizard people keep their human suits, are a couple of interesting places, the first of which is Washington's tomb. The tomb, originally built to store the body of the first president of the United States, instead lies empty under lock and key. After the death of George Washington, and despite his wife agreeing to his burial in the tomb, after disputes over design and costs, Washington was placed in a tomb in Mount Vernon, where he had grown up. A number of attempts were made by Congress over the years to bring Washington to the tomb, however to this day he remains in Mount Vernon as he had originally requested in his will. Originally built to hold up the floor above it and as an entryway to Washington's tomb is the crypt. At the centre of this room is a compass star that marks where the city's 4 quadrants meet. This star is known as the centre of Washington DC, even though it is not the geographical centre of the city. This compass is used to lay out and number Washington's streets, so if the streets of Washington have ever confused you, then this is the origin of your confusion. The last place we're going to visit today is probably the most interesting, and that is the subway. Now I know what you're thinking. You already knew that Washington had a subway, and that it has more problems than the 99 problems that Jay-Z has. But this is an entirely different subway system built for those working in Congress. This subway system was originally built in the year 1909, and instead of a rail system, they used cars to drive people to the different stops. Eventually, as with every other part of the building, the subway has been upgraded over time to the full railway system that is used today. The subway is used to shuttle members of Congress and employees around the US Capitol and the nearby buildings. The journey is so short in fact that a new car comes every 90 seconds. Not a bad way to get around the office, but it still doesn't have anything on the slides in Google's offices. And that's it for this video. Before you check out some of my other videos, drop a comment letting me know which of these secrets you enjoyed the most, and please hit the like button if you liked it and sub if you loved it. I'll heart the 3 best and funniest comments that you leave on this video. Catch you in the next one.